Hey, good morning, everyone. Anybody who's followed me, I am better now. Anybody who's new here, disclaimer, I cuss and I vape, and yeah, this is totally unscripted, and I've had a lot of drama, and here I talk about it. Anywho, it's Saturday. Last Saturday, it was beautiful outside, and I was laid up in my bed, and it was over Memorial Day weekend. I was literally just sicker than a fucking dog. Just, yeah, bad, bad, bad. Anyway, yeah, Memorial Day weekend, Tuesday came down with the funk. The whole week struggled. That next weekend, I was literally. It wasn't until probably Sunday afternoon I started to feel better. So, um, anywho, uh, during last week, you know, back to the same, sitting behind the desk. Oh, yeah, and I had a knee injury back in January, got surgery in February, and Thursday I was released back to work. Yay! So, yesterday they gave me a newer truck to drive, and I did one load, and dispatch called me off the truck to go upstairs and batch because the batch guy had to leave for a funeral or something. So, anyway, give you a little bit of insight. Why I got on here was I basically we just wanted to talk about the ins and outs and the discrepancies with my job. You know why I love it, and at the same time it's very toxic, that kind of thing. But then what then happened was I got involved with an individual during COVID, and he fucked my head all up. Yeah, the cluster B milkshake with sprinkles. Yeah. Anywho, so I ran across a video from the Real Housewives of Tarot. I don't know her name. I wish I did. Anyway, and she was talking about something that it inspired me to have this talk for the most part. Tarot therapy. Yeah, I didn't even know that there was tarot on YouTube. I found it in spite, just like on a whim. And I had originally discovered Justsmile tarot. The reader's name is Lauren. And the reading that I had stumbled across was very recent. It was like within, a couple of days, just happened. And it was strange. It was creepy. And I was instantly addicted. Not only to her, but Sassy Scorpion. I started to discover a whole bunch of different ones, right? And I was comparing the notes. And it was something that Real Housewives had said that got me thinking. And I was like, that is so weird. That is so weird she says that. Because when everything started to do like wash, rinse, repeat, like the soap opera never ends type of thing, is when I found her. A long time ago. Right? And she is a basis of healing. Well, it doesn't matter if it's narcissistic abuse or if it's just anything in general. I can speculate, and just from reading the comments in most of the tarot readers that I follow and whatnot, anybody who is watching tarot, they are in search of peace and validity, clarifying, the crap that they put, that has been put on them or they've gone through, and And there's tarot readers who focus on drama. There's tarot readers who focus on hope. There's tarot readers who are insightful. Now, I watch Rick Lopp. Who are the other ones? Familiar Witch. She is very, like, everyday. And she focuses on Taurus and Pisces, which finding her was a really interesting, take, because the baby mama of this douchebag that I had been involved with, she's a Pisces. So I turned her on to tarot on YouTube. So now, yeah, we share notes. But anyway, befriending her was probably the best decision I ever made. Yeah, so it's pretty interesting. So let me give you a little bit of insight on how well tarot can guide you. And then I'll get to what Real Housewives had said. And she's absolutely right. So, as I was watching, I discovered tarot in the thick of the crazy. So when the string of discards had started, the trauma bond thing, that I experienced back in April of 2023. The withdrawal episode. Oh God, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. Anyway, I had discovered tarot somewhere around the November time frame. Now, I had already been with this individual since April 2022. November 2022, I discovered tarot. Okay. And the reading was so freaking accurate. It resonated completely across the board. And all the way down to the song that was playing in this reader's head, right? And I was like, this is so creepy. Anyway, so I instantly addicted, and I started venturing and watching all of them, finding some of the ones that were more in tune to me. Well, it was after I left him in June 2023, I was still looking for a little bit of insight, but the readings seemed to start repeating. And even Lauren had said, God, who is this? This guy needs to just go away. And then she had said something one day where it was my zodiac, and it was resonating to some extent. And I had gotten an epiphany that this douchebag had hooked up with somebody with my zodiac. So we had the same zodiac. Now, I was sitting there like, oh, this motherfucker is just determined to get his ass kicked. I don't know what else to say in regards. So, and I only know one couple in all of my, knowing of people throughout my life where this zodiac pair has actually worked out. It's technically incompatible majority of the time. So anyway, I had this sneaky suspicion. So that was back July, August, September timeframe, that I cannot take the tarot seriously because he has become involved with somebody of the same zodiac. So it was around November timeframe. I'm not watching tarot still. A couple months now. And an individual comes into my life, and he is the same zodiac. So that was like the spirit realm telling me that I was correct. Because watching, I decided, okay, let's entertain the tarot again. So I'm watching the tarot, and it's like, yep. And this silly fucker that came into my life after the other one, same zodiac, he was just as bad, if not worse. And it didn't take me long to see it. It was quick. Maybe a couple weeks to a month, and then I started retaliating. Anyway, so that individual is no longer part of my life either. So he was not a strong factor in the readings when I originally had discovered Justsmile. And there was one reading where she kind of pointed it out, and I was like, yep, okay, that one is based on this other guy. Now, she's back on this other one. So I'm watching, and it's like, nope, that is not. No, this douchebag that I was with for a long time has found somebody with the same zodiac. Because listening to the content of it. Now, I had no way of proving it. So I had found out who it was that he was involved with and her Facebook. And I was trolling it more like a voyeur, not to be malicious or anything like that. Just to, kind of keep up with the pattern recognition and seeing, this girl like blasting this man all over. Oh, he's the love of my life and all this other stuff, right? So I contact the baby mama. And we start both. She's watching, I'm watching, and we're like, yeah, something's fucked up here. Something's really fucked up here. This poor girl is like, yeah, start praying for her. So now me and the baby mama praying for each other, and now praying for this new one, right? We're like, it's not going to end well. So it was around, was it March? It was either March or May. And this new person in this douchebag's life changes the whole dynamic of her Facebook. So picture is very dark. The backdrop picture is neutral. No more lovey-dovey shit. It's gone. So I contact baby mama right away. And I'd be like, any day, anytime now, right? Something's amiss. Pattern is off. She's like, you sure? I said, I'm almost certain. Keep an eye on this one. So, it was about 4 o'clock that same afternoon. She messages me. Change your relationship status. Holy shit. Now the relationship status isn't even displayed. Yeah. I mean, she went from being in a relationship to single in the same day after the pictures have changed. And then it was like 48 hours later, she took the relationship status off entirely. Now, then it was a few months later, and I get another message. It was about a month and a half. Like, it was around the beginning of July. Baby mama message. She took him back. It's like, oh, fuck. Here we go. Back and forth. It wasn't long. So now we're in 2024. Okay? July 2024. They hooked up in July 2023. They had busted up or had separated. The Hoovers had started before even the 1 year mark. Same with me and this guy, right? The same thing. Same pattern, right? So I knew what I was looking for. And then I'm sitting there watching Christmas. Because she does this big family affair. They get matching pajamas and all this other crazy shit, right? I'm watching Christmas. And I'm thinking, he's not in the photos. Douchebag. So, there's something amiss. And me and baby mama, we don't talk every day. We're not sitting there like, every week giving updates and shit. She has her life with the kid. I have my life, and we don't bug each other unless there's a concern, right? So, wish each other happy birthday and happy Mother's Day, and I totally forgot to wish her happy Mother's Day this year, and I feel like an asshole. But yeah, there's things going on. So anyway, it was interesting that this past Easter, it has been revealed that this new supply that he had ran to 3 weeks after I left him has basically kicked his ass to the curb and moved on. Yeah. Thank God she has the strength to have combated that. And she kept herself in check. Now me, I was weak. I wanted this individual. I didn't need him. I have my own shit going on. And I finance myself. For the most part, you know. Do my own oil changes and whatnot. And this asshole basically consumed my life, and I let him. Was I desperate? No, I wasn't desperate. I was just desiring. And so, yeah, a lot of, you know, my emotional connection to him was, you know, yeah, maybe it was life's a lesson, right? So, back to the tarot. A lot of the readings had resonated because it was telling the story. So this recently, okay, I was like, yeah, let's entertain it. Let's see what they say. Oh yeah, they're pointing it out. And basically the reading is meant for me and her. Now, she is very Christian rooted, right? I don't think she's entertaining it, but it does validate to me that this stupid ass that we had been involved with had deliberately looked for the same zodiac. There's that. And the reason why is because this zodiac has a very distinctive quality that we attract narcissistic personalities on a general level. So, after having dealt with that, I had a lot of healing to do. And the problem was I was so addicted to the tarot, and I was listening to the soap opera over and over and over again. But it had occurred to me that the soap opera was repeating, but it wasn't me as the main character. Something was happening, and that's how I kind of had my spidey senses kicked in and said, he is with somebody with the same zodiac. I had a suspicion. Because the same zodiac had come into my life as this guy. But I kicked his ass to the curb early. That was a lesson. That was teach me a lesson. Did I pass the test? Yes, I did. But something, as I was watching them intermittently, not, you know, religiously like I had before, something kept saying, she is the same zodiac. She is. Sure enough. Her birthday is one day before mine. Oh my God. But I'm 5 years older. Anyway, so I was like, that's fucking incredible. I knew it, right? So I stumbled across this video by Real Housewives of Tarot, and it was not zodiac specific. It was just her discussing the dynamics of the purpose of tarot, and it has lost its spiritual component for the most part. Now, I know which titles to look for. Like I mentioned a few, like Charlie Tarot, love her. Who else? Femacy Lighthouse, I love her. there's a bunch. Different dynamics, different personalities. Sassy Scorpion is very good, but I do not like her nuance. Just, she doesn't communicate personality-wise. But if I'm in the mood, something going on, I'll watch her. But the information she provides is very good. The problem I had when I left the narcissist was that I do read tarot and I do understand the cards, but I could not. It numbed my spirituality to such an extent that I couldn't even get an intuition to read myself, for that matter. I struggled with it so bad. So I started to rely on watching it, not even realizing that YouTube even had it. I stumbled across it ignorantly, did not realize that YouTube had tarot on there. I was like, where the fuck has this been all my life? You know, I've been on YouTube forever and used it for music and podcasts and watching all sorts of the conspiracy theory concepts, you know, what's going on in the land of the weird, you know, kind of shit. Did not know that tarot was out there. So weird. So weird. So anyway, Real Housewives had mentioned, she had gone through her own kind of spiritual conflict thing. Like, her Christian beliefs were, like, throwing off her juju based upon the stereotypical taboos of tarot reading as it pertains to the esoteric, metaphysical, and supernatural of the world, and saying that it's like of the devil, and it's really not. And you know, Real Housewives had like, I can understand it, the frustration in that regard. And she asked God for the sign, and she misinterpreted the sign, and the sign basically was saying, you're doing the Lord's work, because I did not find a source of healing until I discovered her. Well into my, you know, watching tarot day in, day out from all sorts of different readers. And she's right. There is a spiritual component that is lacking. There is, if you're going to sit there and watch it because you like being in the shit, you're going to stay in the shit. Now, my zodiac, in particular, we attract narcissists. So I'm sitting there watching all of the comments and looking at them. And, you know, yeah, there are a lot of people out there struggling. It's in our nature. We exude loyalty, love, compassion, hardworking, independent. Yes. That is what we are. However, we are a force to be reckoned with. You fuck with us, you're going to release the demons, and it is not going to end well. Just putting it out there. So for this douchebag to pursue this zodiac, he's just a glutton for punishment. But he knows that it's easy. And unless you've experienced this multiple times and you start to be able to just focus on those red flags and avoid that personality, that zodiac of this son of a bitch that I dealt with is going to test this zodiac to the fullest extent. And it is entirely up to you as this zodiac to tell that fucker to go kick rocks. Know in yourself what you did wrong within that communication or that interaction, that acquaintance, involvement, what have you. Should you have gone and gotten involved with somebody with that personality disorder, regardless of zodiac, know to see the signs and stop it in its tracks. Otherwise, the more involved you get, the more at risk you're putting yourself, because the retaliation that comes out, because we all react the same. Like this woman you got involved with, her and I are the same zodiac. Our birthdays are a day apart, right? She's social and outgoing and family driven. Me, I am very antisocial and introverted, and I am independent, and yeah, I got a big family, but they are not the focus of my happiness. Completely opposite. And got fucked over by the same zodiac. Because they prey on us. Because of those underlying dispositions of loyalty, dedication, commitment, people pleasing. But what I don't think he realizes is that when our buttons get pushed, yeah, it is nuclear. So there's a lot to learn within recovering, and Real Housewives kind of inspired this conversation. Tarot is therapeutic as long as you don't become addicted to it. You've got to know when to take what is given to you and what titles to focus on, because she's like, I put it to the test. It's the title. The title itself is going to inspire the views. Yeah, some ways, yeah. And what she had noticed was the more negative in connotation of the title, the more views she was getting. And that is not what tarot is for. You know, you need to be able to resonate with the spiritual aspects of it and focus using it as a life lesson, accountability, and healing. Period. So, with that being said, I'm going to go get my coffee, because I've been looking over there like, it's done, but I don't want to stop talking. Okay, I'm going to get my coffee now. Y'all have a great weekend. Peace out.